All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to have a very interesting conversation today about Silent Hill 2 Remake. Now, as you guys are aware, maybe you're not aware because you think I'm just a hater. I played Silent Hill 2 Remake. I streamed it in its entirety to completion, and I had a lot of good things to say about the game. I also had a few bad things to say about the game. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because, ironically, the few bad things that I had to say about the game seemingly have been addressed in the 1.04 patch that just recently released on Silent Hill 2 Remake. Now, this patch is hilarious to me because one of the things that changed in the patch, they didn't actually put in the notes, and it makes you wonder why that is. And that's because apparently they have admitted that the female character or characters, I don't know if they did any others, but assuming, Maria is the only one we really have seen so far, the female characters were on big head mode, which is exactly what I said the entire time, and I got called a lying hater over it.
Go yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is.
So we're going to talk about all this, guys. We're going to talk about the big head mode stuff later on in the video, but let's focus on the actual patch and talk about the positives that are happening with this patch before we talk about the big head mode nonsense that I want an apology for. So let's get into this video, guys. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Now, when it comes to Silent Hill 2 Remake, okay, the game was a fun game. There's no doubt about it. The game was actually pretty damn fun. Censored for sure. It was definitely a toned down version of Silent Hill 2, unfortunately, and that's going to turn off a lot of people, and I don't blame people for being turned off by that. But one of my biggest issues with this game was the performance of the game. The performance of the game was god-awful, right? And it's amazing because it didn't matter really how good of a rig you have, right? Like, I have a pretty top-tier rig, 4090 and everything, right? Crazy amount of RAM, everything, 64 gigs. I have a pretty top-tier rig. Even I was getting a ton of stuttering issues while I was streaming the game. Even when I was playing offline, I was still getting stuttering issues. I was thinking, okay, maybe it was because I was streaming, whatever. No, it was actually just happening in general. There was a ton of lag and a lot of stuttering issues, which are very well known, by the way, for Unreal. The engine, very well known, but at the end of the day, it doesn't excuse it, right? So we are now 4 patches in, and it seems like they're finally fixing a lot of the issues. So let's go over it. We got technical, reduced visual glitches, which again is good for NVIDIA DLSS. Added an option to enable DLSS frame generation in the menu when using it for super sampling. NVIDIA Reflex is now active when DLSS frame generation is enabled. They did a whole bunch of glitches. Look, fixed stuttering issues related to sky map generations. Now, I don't know if sky map generation is what was causing the stuttering issues that I was experiencing, but if that's the case, that's good. I'm glad they finally fixed the stuttering issues because it was abysmal. It really was. It honestly kind of ruined the experience a lot of the time in certain parts of the game. It would really make it to the point where it's like, what the hell is happening? And then you're running around. Obviously, you got to be a little quick in certain scenarios in the game, and it really makes it pretty damn bad. So I'm glad they finally fixed it, and I'm glad that they're actually working on the performance issues, but it's not an excuse for releasing a buggy game, essentially. It's not an excuse for releasing a video game that doesn't run well, that doesn't perform well, and this is the problem that we have in modern day, where the internet has allowed developers to be lazy and release video games early, even though they know that it's not going to run perfectly or it's not going to run to its maximum potential, and they think they could just fix it later while taking your money. It's a big problem, but that's just where we're at here. So I wanted to talk about that. It is positive news that they are fixing the game. Now, let's talk about this, bro. Okay, so Pirate Nation put out this tweet here, and it says Silent Hill 2 Remake Update V1.04 has reduced Maria's head by about 30% and added 30% to her chest. The left version is the original, and the right is the updated run. Konami's listening to the gamers. Now, this right here, bro, is such a massive win, and I know there's going to be haters in the comments. They're going to be like, oh, you just want to sexualize Maria. And I'm like, well, no actuality, her character is supposed to be the one that is sexualized. So kind of makes sense, right, bro? Like, kind of makes sense. She's supposed to be the, the lust of his wife and whatnot, and how he sees her and when she's not sick and whatnot. So, like, I get it. She's supposed to be the one that's sexualized. But it's so amazing to me because if you look here on the left, massive head. And I've been saying this the entire time that I was playing the game. I was like, why are these girls on big head mode? I don't understand this. I don't know why they have done this. And if you look on the right, her head has been reduced. I don't know if it's 30%, but there is no doubt about it that her head was reduced. And I took this as such a massive win. And I don't care. I don't want an apology. I say that as a joke, but still, like, I want an apology. I want people who were in my comments who were shills telling me that I was just being a hater and I just want something to fap to, blah, blah, blah. I want you guys to apologize. I want you to apologize in the comments and admit that I was right about the big head mode stuff, because it was so obvious. It was jarring. It was ridiculous how big their heads were. And it's really only the female characters that have this issue. And it makes you wonder why that is. And then what they also did, I don't care about this too much, but I know it goes part of the character anyway, so whatever. But they did, in fact, make her chest bigger. You can even see it in the cleavage. It's pretty damn obvious. And if you look here, it's even more obvious in this particular description, where the head is smaller and she's got bigger boobs. And here, it's definitely obvious, right? Here, you can see the head size difference, and it's not super drastic. I don't think it's 30%, but it's definitely there, without a doubt. The head is much smaller, and her boobs are way more visible. You could tell she got a little bit of a raise there. You know, you could tell. So I don't really know why they did this, and I have questions, right? I really have questions. I kind of wish I can ask Blooper team, why did you do this? Why did you change this? First off, by changing it, I feel like you're admitting that what this was not, you know, this is not what gamers wanted. Like, what is this? This is not Maria, right? I feel like by changing this, you're admitting that there's some issue here, or you're admitting that there's some fault here. And I really feel like you can't blame it on a bug, because if you were going to blame it on a bug, you would have put it on the patch notes, but you didn't. You didn't put it on the patch notes. You just did it stealth. It was a stealth patch. So you did all this hoping that what? People wouldn't notice? Of course people notice. It's the internet, bro. People look at stuff all the time. So you got a chest increase, pretty obvious, and then you also got the head getting smaller. Now, Angela hasn't changed to my knowledge, and I highly doubt they're going to change Angela, because she's probably the most, you know, dramatic example. And I don't want Angela's like boobs changed or anything. I think that's dumb. She's not supposed to be sexualized. She's a sexual assault victim. If anything, if you're going to change Angela, I would make her look more traumatized. Give her some bags under her eyes or something. Make her look tired. You should make her look traumatized like the original Angela did. That's been my argument since day number one. But this particular change is at least a positive change in the right direction for Maria and her character and what she's supposed to be. And the head change, I mean, I don't know why the characters were on big head mode. I don't know why they released the girls like that. It's only the girls that are affected by it, but at least they changed one of them. Maybe they'll reduce Angela's head next. Who really knows? But I just find it hilarious that they tried to stealth patch this and they didn't want to admit it on their patch notes. But you know what? Gamers find out everything, and we report on it because we are going to be transparent, while the industry obviously is not, considering they didn't want to put it on their patch notes. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.